even enough to where they would force the game into overtime. I don't think that's the case this year. It hasn't hit yet in the history. There's some that seemed like sucker bets back in the day, like, will a safety occur? That's cashed 3 straight years, and now the books are protecting themselves. The payout for if a safety cashes in is not going to be as high this year or in years coming up because of some of the goofy things that have happened with the safety occurring in the last 3 years. But like I say, just go into it with the mindset that this is one game. Do your homework just like you would if it's a preseason football game or a regular season game, and just and don't go overboard with any of it.
As far as the safety goes, did you bet the safety when Brady was called for it against the Giants in the previous Super Bowl?
No, I've never bet on a safety occur. That's such a random thing, and what's crazy about last year was that a lot of people who went and made the ridiculous bet of will a safety be the first scoring play of the game. I heard that some places it paid out 125-1. So, wow, that's a fantastic. I mean, it's a lottery ticket play that cashed in. I can't imagine if we'll go another 50 Super Bowls before seeing a safety being the first scoring player of the game again. That's something you don't even see hardly in the NFL during the regular season. So,
as far as go ahead.
No,
as far as the prop bet out there, will either team score in the final 3.5 minutes of the game? Last year, Seahawks, just blew the doors off the. I guess. Well, actually, it doesn't even matter if there's if there's a blowout. But with the Patriots in it, you got to assume there's going to be a score in the final 3.5 minutes of the game. What do you think as far as this bet goes? Would you say yes or no?
Yeah, that's something I kind of like too. If you look at the history with the Patriots, they've had a couple of years where they had game-winning field goals, or late drives to wrap up a game. Even the games they've lost, you look at the 2 losses to the Giants. Those were late scoring drives. So that's something I would take a look at more this year than I ever have. I have it circled, but I haven't played it just yet. But that's not a bad play. Both of these teams. I mean, we saw how the Seahawks came back last week. Patriots didn't really need to do anything in the second half. They had that game pretty much wrapped up in their last meeting. But these are 2 teams that they're going to go tooth and nail. They're going to be playing hard all 60 minutes if needed. So yeah, I would definitely look at possibly making a play on a score with less than 3 minutes in the game.
Are there any alternative point spreads that you've looked at for this game that you are flirting with right now?
Yes, there are. I can tell you that they are related with the side that I do like in this game. I can't just give that out just yet on who exactly I like. People can find that on through my website. But yes, there are some alternative spreads that I'm looking at playing this year, which is something I don't really look for that often because you got to be pretty much confident with one side or the other, and really do some extra research to see if that number fits with your rankings. Hardly it ever does, but in this spot here, there is a number that fits.
The team to have the first penalty and declined penalties do not count. Patriots even odds. What's your prediction for first penalty?
Those can always go either way, and it has a lot to do with the excitement level. You see a guy jump off sides. It's his first Super Bowl. But looking at the fact that the Seahawks, a lot of these guys have been a lot of Patriots, top Patriots players have been in this game as well. So it's kind of hard to determine what would be the first penalty, if it's going to be something like an offsides or a false start, or if it's going to be something bigger like a pass interference or a face mask or something of that nature. So it's a play I never really look at. I never look at that prop, but the reason why it's always tough to determine is because it could be something as simple as a line violation.
What are some more prop bets that you are going to go in on?
I like some of the props that I'm seeing with Rob Gronkowski. I don't, every now and then I try not to isolate a player per se, especially when you look at a team like the Patriots, who have so many options on offense. We've seen that, God, it could be a lineman and scoring the first play for the Patriots, or, they've, LeGarrette Blount's been running well, Shane Vereen, in the equation. So Amendola and Edelman, there's a lot of guys, but I think Rob Gronkowski is someone to really look for in this game because of the fact that the Legion of Boom is going to be really focused on covering, Amendola and Edelman, and then that line is going to be really looking at trying to stop LeGarrette Blount. That Seattle pass rush the run defense rather is very solid. I think that Rob Gronkowski is going to, find some open lanes in the middle, and I think we're definitely going to see some more, trickery as far as Bill Belichick's line formations. Having a, guy receives a normally eligible receiver being eligible, maybe having a lineman up the middle or off to the side be eligible. So I think they're going to create some lanes for Gronkowski in this.
Strategically, what would you do with Sherman? Who would you have him cover if you're the Seahawks?
It's interesting. I've been trying to figure this out. Like I said, to look at how these with these player props. I would probably have Sherman more so covering Edelman. But at the same time, like I say, I feel like Gronkowski being, a bigger threat, I would, maybe even, look at a safety guard one of the receivers and might even see, this is possible, we see some Gronkowski and Sherman matchups. Obviously Gronkowski has the height, but Sherman, being one of the best ball readers in the game, it wouldn't hurt to have him line up in some key situations, especially in the red zone.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, the Patriots are so they don't ever have they don't have a Randy Moss this year or anybody to a guy that should be shut down. It's just kind of a bunch of trades guys, and with Sherman, I'm not sure that it's not that he can't cover those kind of guys, but you'd rather have him on a number one target, a guy like a Randy Moss, a big time wide receiver versus having him against an Edelman. I feel like he's being underutilized in a matchup like that.
Well, and it's interesting because you look at Edelman and Amendola, going up against Sherman, and you can't touch Earl Thomas for either. He's a very good defender as well. So like I said, it's interesting on both ends of both corners of the field. What's going to happen as far as matchups go. I'm sure we'll see guys swapped around at times, and we're going to see a lot of like I said, lots of different formations. We're not going to see too many standard formations throughout this whole game for the Patriots.
Who, as far as what matchup do you think is going to be, the most interesting for, as far as Brady versus, whether he goes throws Sherman's way? What do you think is the most intriguing matchup right now in the Super Bowl?
Honestly, the most intriguing matchup, I think, are the two head coaches. This is going to be a complete mind game. We're talking about two of the best coaches in football going against each other. So, like I said, that's kind of, I know it seems a bit broad, but, like I said, are we going to see some trick plays? You saw where, in the NFC title game, Pete Carroll dialed up that, fake field goal for the touchdown. You see more conservative play in the Super Bowl, but with these two guys knowing that, they have some tricks up their sleeves, and they won't be afraid to use them against each other because they're gonna have one's gonna have to really outsmart the other in order to win this ball game.
How tricky is it with prop bets with Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick? Because Belichick always will occasionally have Mike Vrabel catch a touchdown pass, and Carroll last week had the first touchdown pass was from Ryan the punter, and these two guys are kind of masters of trickery. How difficult is it betting on prop bets with these two as head coach?
It's very difficult, and I've heard from bookmakers too that it was difficult for them as far as, setting numbers and picking what players to put under props. The Patriots running back, trio is a good example. I mean, Jonas Gray, had some pretty big performances during the regular season, but it seems like he's just been, he's hardly been used at all in the postseason at times. Shane Vereen, he'll have a big game and then have a complete day off. Obviously teams are going to be focused on the Garrett Blount after the big performance he had. So, I haven't looked at I've looked at the numbers for the rushers, but nothing has really stuck out to me because I have no idea what Belichick's going to run as far as, what is he going to really have do as far as his running backs are concerned. He might have all three of them on the field and run, and sometimes, maybe like a full house formation or, a two back with, three wide. There's a multitude of options he has, and knowing Belichick, he's going to use all of them. So it's really tough when you start looking at how many, receptions the guy might have or, how many touches on the ground as far as rushing. So, yeah, it's very difficult this year.
As far as, looking at the overall spread of this game, do you agree with it? Over under, do you agree with it? And what are you taking as far as straight up?
The over under, is like dead on with my numbers. 48 and a half is right where I had this open. Before Saturday before the AFC and NFC title games, I had written down my, whatever the four matchups would come about, what my line and what my total would be. And my total for this game was right at 48. My line is leaning quite a bit more towards the Patriots before the games went final last week. But looking at Seattle, the line is pulled back a little bit tighter, but my numbers say the Patriots are the better team.
So you're going to take the Patriots in this one?
Yeah, the one I have straight up. I have the Patriots.
Well, last before I let you go, do you want to tell everybody where we can find you on Twitter, the internets, when your final bets are going to be out there for the public to see, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at AXSmithSports. You can go to axsmithsports.com. On the front page, it'll see my Super Sunday package. You can buy that now for $20. And as soon as you click on that, purchase through PayPal, I'll email you right now the play I have on the game for the spread and all the prop plays I have as of now. I only have one prop play that I fired on, and that was the national anthem over the total. I played that earlier this afternoon. I'm going to have at least 3 or 4 more out between now, and I'll have them done by Friday or Saturday night. The earlier you get these numbers, the better, especially if you're out in Las Vegas. You don't want to be waiting in lines early Sunday. You want to get into the book as fast as you can, lay them, and get somewhere where you can watch the game. And you can also find me at KellyInVegas.com and also at VegasInsider.com. Hockey starts back on Tuesday, so I have plays going for the rest of the hockey season as well.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on. Good luck with your bets, and I'll talk to you soon, man.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
And we'll be right back here on the Bob Sullivan Show to talk some headlines here on LateNightSportsRadio.com.
No emails or texts, no messages or texts. I leave the front door open for the people that I'm close to. Life's short, we trying to get down like we supposed to. Scratch out all your plans, you got nowhere else to be tonight. Give it just a minute and I promise you'll see I'm right. Tell your people where it's at, if they don't know they're gonna find out. Forget about the past, cause in here there's only right now. We don't need the speakers on your stereo to dance to. We'll just stomp our feet and clap our hands if we have to. And if you fall good